Welcome to a short reflection by Sebastian Mahfoud on Canto 31 of Dante's Paradiso. Dante's understanding of the structure of the rose strengthens as he looks around, and he notices that there are two celestial soldieries of the Church Triumphant present before him. The first is seated and includes all the saints, and the second is in flight between God and each individual saint. This second soldiery is comprised of angels who, Dante describes, like a swarm of bees who in one motion dive into the flowers, and in the next return to the sweetness of their labors to the hive, flew ceaselessly to the many-petaled rose, and ceaselessly returned into that light in which their ceaseless love has its repose. The pollen that they are spreading is the ardor of God's peace, and Dante's realization of the distance he has come, in moving from the human to the blessed state, from time to eternity, from Florence to a people just and whole, overcomes him. He starts to take in paradise, tear by blessed tear of the rose, and turns, as he once did to Virgil to resolve a doubt, to find that Beatrice has been replaced by Saint Bernard de Clairvaux. In a panic, Dante cries, "She! Where is she?" like a child in a department store who turns to ask his mother a favor and finds her gone from his sight. Saint Bernard explains that he is there at Beatrice's request, and shows Dante where to find her, way up in the third circle, down from the highest rank upon the throne her merit has assigned her. Dante's heart is at rest again when he, unencumbered by any atmosphere, is able to see her across the miles of space that now separate them. He sends up a prayer that praises her for the work she has done in him, and asks that she grant him her magnificence, so that the soul she has healed may please her when it slips the bonds of flesh and rises to its goal. Beatrice smiles down on him, and, her work being done, turns for the last time to gaze upon God. Dante's consternation at an end, Saint Bernard tells him to look around and note that Mary, Queen of Heaven, for whom in whole devotion he burns in love, will grant them every grace. In life, Saint Bernard was the greatest of the Christian contemplatives, and, as a mystic, serves as the bridge between what God has openly revealed through Scripture to what God discloses only to the contrite and just heart. Dante crosses this bridge by turning his gaze onto Saint Bernard, who has just identified himself, and who advises him to raise his eyes to Mary. Mary it is who is the bridge to Christ, for Chiardi notes that the ultimate revelation must come as a special grace, in answer to the prayers of the worthy. The worthiest being in the mystic rose is the Virgin, and Bernard, as her special servitor, will pray to her that she pray God to grant Dante's most ardent wish, which, of course, is the fullness of his theophany. Mary, Queen of the Angels, has more than 1,000 festive angels dancing about her, and is smiling at their play, and so ineffable is her beauty and bliss. We have the idea that she outshines Beatrice to the degree that Beatrice's present state outshines her earthly beauty, that Dante doesn't even try to describe it. As he gazes, he realizes that Bernard's own zeal and ardor strengthens his, sending new fire through him in a way similar to how our witnessing others sitting with us in Eucharistic devotion strengthens our own resolve in prayer. John reports in chapter 14, 27 through 31 of his Gospel, the words of Christ. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give it to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid. You heard me tell you, I am going away, and I will come back to you. If you loved me, you would rejoice that I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you this before it happens, so that when it happens you may believe. I will no longer speak much with you, for the ruler of the world is coming. He has no power over me, but the world must know that I love the Father, and that I do just as the Father has commanded me." End quote. Christ will come back to us, and when he does, he'll bring us back in the general resurrection. In the meantime, our bodies die, and the just among us go to him. We already know from Scripture that angels dialogue with humans in the body, so it makes sense that they would continue to dialogue with humans no longer in the body. This swarm of bees with which Dante begins the canto, for that reason, shouldn't give us too much pause. They are messengers of God, so it makes sense that we would see them, in their natural hive, performing that function, moving between God and man with the fullness of God's love as their active principle. As much as they serve God, we also have to note that they additionally serve man, and are subservient to us in that regard. The queen, after all, is a composite being, both material and spiritual. while they themselves are simpler beings with no material nature. We know that our souls are the form of our bodies, as are theirs, but that we are also naturally accoutred with matter. In remembering Statius's explanation from Canto 25 of the Purgatorio, our souls reform all their senses from the air after our deaths. Angels do not need senses as an aid to their reason, because they do not reason, but simply intuit. Nor do they have memory, for their minds are not divided into past and present moments. All the same, we are, in some sense, superior to them if their primary reason for being created is to minister to our needs. This realization should put to rest all Manichaean arguments concerning the evil nature of the material world. If we matter, then matter matters, and if matter matters enough for us to be resurrected in our material bodies, then matter must be as good as spirit as far as we're concerned. The soul, after all, is the form of our material and spiritual bodies, as Dante has made clear, and it is the soul that seeks rest in God, no matter its state.